morning. I swear a lot.
It is 8 minutes past 3 in the PM, and you're listening to The Foreman. I'm off to a late start today. It's not great. I'm your host, Foreman, and hey, been a while since we did this again, but I do find it useful to supplement the upload schedule, so I want to keep trying to do it. I've been alright. It's hot as fuck around here at the moment, and I haven't been sleeping very well, which is kind of a due to the heat situation, and also a periodic thing where sometimes I just go through periods of time where I lay down to go to bed at night and my brain goes, nah, we're staying up for a while. So that's fun, and by fun I mean it's really annoying because then I'll go through the day like a zombie. And you know, it's kind of hard to do like witty and insightful commentary whilst playing video games when half your brain is just kind of off and not functioning or barely functioning. But I'm getting through it. Things could be worse. I'm doing alright. The Limbo stuff at the moment's pretty fun. I'm enjoying Nitrogen Omega, and 13 Sentinels continues to be utterly psychotic in its storytelling in a good way. So I'm enjoying myself at the moment. But what I have been doing in my off time for fun, and once again, it's something I haven't really been able to do enough of because there's no fucking way I'll be able to play the game while I'm rendering something. And also, I think this is right at the limit of what like my graphics card and shit can handle, because it sometimes does crash and say, yeah, this is a fucking graphics card driver issue, and my drivers are updated, so I guess my GPU is just struggling with it. But I've been playing Monster Hunter Wilds. Now, those of you who have been here for a little while will have known that I did go for a bit of a phase playing Monster Hunter World way back when, usually with Alessio, and she would stream it and I would join in and whatnot. I think I did a couple videos on it, which were fun. That was a good time. But I skipped Rise for no real reason. I just kind of skipped it, and I've heard that it may have been a good thing that I skipped it, but I don't know fuck all about Rise, and I'm not here to make statements on it. But I came back in on Wild. Or Wilds? Is it Wilds? It's Wilds. It's plural. Multiple Wilds, not just one. And I kind of went into it with a fairly casual, kind of lukewarm expectation where I was like, well, it's just going to be Monster Hunter World, isn't it? It's just more Monster Hunter. Like, I'm not a long-running Monster Hunter fan. I started at Worlds and now I'm in Wilds. Is it World or World? It's World, isn't it? It's singular for World and plural for Wilds, which is really fucking annoying and it's mixing me up, but whatever. If I say Worlds or if I say Wild, you still know which game I'm referring to, yeah? My point is that I went into it with rather tepid expectations. I was like, I'm sure I'll enjoy it, but it's not going to blow me away and it's not going to be anything that new. Now, it hasn't blown me away as such, but I have been enjoying it a lot more than I expected. And there are multiple reasons for this. But one of the chief ones is the fact that Sword and Shield is eating really well, actually, thanks to the inclusion of like perfect blocks, perfect guards, and then also the like clash thing where if you perfect block like a big attack, the monster basically just clamps their fucking teeth over your shield and you just stab the fuck out of them to get them off your shield, and it's a really cool little animation that I really like. And it's also helpful in a fight, because if you win that clash, you fucking knock them back. It's a bit of a stagger, it allows you to get some more hits in. The wound system is also greatly appreciated. Very good system, like that a lot. Included with focus mode, which allows you to kind of more accurately choose where you're going to swing at on a monster, and it's also a decent substitute for locking on, because you can break that at any moment for free range of movement. You can still dodge, and the system for actually hitting wounds in melee, I don't know what it's like for ranged characters, I've only played melee, it works, it's good. There's definitely a bit of a learning period with it, because focus mode can definitely give you tunnel vision. I've definitely given myself tunnel vision with it before, and then gotten blindsided, but it feels less... It doesn't feel unintentional, it just feels like a necessary aspect of the mechanic that you need to engage with. You know, you need to be careful of this and not just stay in focus mode the whole fucking time. Bird mounts are great. I love the bird mounts. They're a ton of fun. That system's decent. I've heard people say it would be nice if it wasn't an autopilot situation, and I do see it. Like, you can affect where it's going to go, but you can feel it fighting you, which one could argue is kind of actually the most realistic implementation of being on a mount, because, you know, in a lot of cases a mount would not do exactly what you fucking tell it, but I think that is excessive reaching and a fair dose of copium. I don't mind the autopilot aspect of it, but it does sometimes fight me in ways that are quite annoying, and I can definitely see why someone would prefer not to have it. As for me, I don't mind it too much, but I love the inclusion of the mounts. It's really good system. Being able to swap to a second weapon set is also fucking nice. I haven't really engaged with it much because early on, during my time playing Worlds, I thought, well, what if, right, I have sword and shield as my main, but if things are getting too hairy, or if it's a flying monster, I'll just keep a fucking bow gun in my saddle pack and just bring that out if I need it. But that thought process came before I really started to ease into the rhythm of Sword and Shield gameplay, and when I was in there, I was like, I don't ever want to put this thing away. I want to just fucking smack them with my shield all day long. So I haven't really gone into that thought process. I might come back to it though, because, you know, flying monsters, it'd be nice to shoot them. Or if I'm playing with a squad online and I'm like dying, like really low on health and running out of healing items, or I just can't figure out the monster's patterns and I don't want to tank the hunt for everyone else, just ruin it for them, I could hop on my mount, fall back, and get a gun out and start supporting from range, which, yeah, that would be pretty cool. The sword and shields also look fucking sick. In Wilds, the Balahara blade looks fucking nice. It looks fucking nice. Like that, it's got that Urukai from Lord of the Rings thing where the tip of the blade has the two spikes on either end. Real fucking nice, and the shield has a real nice design to it. And I haven't really looked at the rest of the weapons in the game, but some of them look real nice. And there's some good drip too. I've only just gone to high rank, I should clarify for those of you who are wondering. I've literally just gone to high rank, and the first thing I did was accidentally hunt a Rathian, but that worked out, and I want Rathian stuff anyway, so that worked out for me very well, because I remember the Princess Rapier from World, and I really like that rapier. I'm not sure I'll necessarily stick with the stats on the armor set, because I'm thinking that all of this will tie back together in a minute, but I'm just kind of gushing because of how much I've been enjoying Wilds. I'm kind of starting to push my Hunter's overall playstyle and identity a bit more toward what I would like to call a Dark Soulsy type of character. So sword and board. I want to kind of go for armor that has that kind of old rugged knight set kind of look. Like Balahara armor also worked for this really well. I swapped to the armor of the end of the low rank quest line, if you know what I mean. Which isn't really that vibe, but does look fucking cool and has a really good armor set bonus that allows me to heal off of wound exploitation, which is super nice. But I kind of want that Dark Souls vibe, and I want my character to be really fucking durable. That's kind of what I want to go for him. Just to be able to take hits, be able to resist status effects, be able to guard well. I want him to be a proper defensive powerhouse, whilst also using sword and shield so he's mobile and can kind of, you know, a bit more opportunistic than perhaps a really slow and tanky character. He'll never be as tanky as, say, a lance user, but he'll be faster, so that's pretty cool. But that's what I kind of want to go for, so I'm looking for armor sets that will give me solid defensive bonuses or the ability to regenerate health. Like I said, the armor set I just talked about, which allows me to regenerate off of wound exploitation, real nice. Would quite like to look into that perhaps just a little bit, or find it somewhere else now I'm in high rank. But I think what I quite like about Monster Hunter Wilds as well is the story. Now, the story is nothing crazy, and I will be discussing spoilers on the low rank story quest line, you know, that leads you to high rank. All the stuff in that is basically what I'm going to be talking about, or anything in that, I should say. So if you want to experience that for yourself, then you might want to give this a miss. But I quite liked how everything was presented. First of all, I quite liked how our hunter is presented, because in World, you're kind of just like a fresh-faced youth showing up in the new world with all your buddies to, like, go hunt monsters and make a name for yourself. And that's a perfectly fine way to present it. It's logical. It makes a lot of sense. I had no complaints about that at all. And the story in World was fine, I guess. I wasn't exactly on the edge of my seat. And I wasn't on the edge of my seat in Wilds either, but, you know, I wasn't expecting much to begin with anyway. The difference in Wilds, which I really like, is that your hunter, instead of being a fresh-faced youth, is someone who has clearly, by dialogue between you and other characters and dialogue between other characters about you, you've clearly been hunting for a while. Your character is clearly a veteran, clearly someone who has a bit of a reputation as well, is held in high regard by many people within the guild, and and they're kind of like, we could get that person in. Would they play well with a guild though? They have always been a bit of a loner, and they're like, well, they want to do it. Yeah, we'll bring them in, see what they can do. And a lot of that is portrayed through your conversations with other characters, where they're like, oh, you've dealt with things like this before, and you're like, yeah, a little bit. I get around, And along these lines, I made my hunter be a little bit older than I normally would, because initially the reason I did this is because I headcanoned it that this was the same hunter I was in Monster Hunter World. And Iceborne by extension. So I've done a lot of fighting. So the character's a bit older, and it would also explain why he's not as strong at the start of Wild as he was at the end of Iceborne, because he's a bit old, and he probably took some time off after the frozen hellscape that was Iceborne. So, bit rusty, perfectly mirroring some of the players coming back into Monster Hunter through Wilds after playing World. But this also happens to work out really well because of how the game presents our character as being something of a veteran. Kind of like, not to the same degree, but kind of like the Huntsman from World. That old dude in the fucking Rathian armor who was dope as hell. But people almost regard your character with a similar level of... There's a degree of reverence that is nowhere near as high as it was for people referring to the Huntsman, but there is a degree of reverence, right? Where people are like, whoa, it's that guy. That guy's for fucking real. That guy isn't like the greatest hunter who ever lived, but yeah, I've heard stories. He's made a bit of a name for himself, he's somebody. But I like all of this because I present that all to you and you think, oh my god, the story's going to be a fucking Mary Sue situation where your character is the best hunter ever, and everyone's like, oh my god, you're the best hunter who's ever lived, and everything's about you, and you were also born to the Wyverians, and you can also do magic powers. Obviously, I'm being hyperbolous here, but you get the idea I'm trying to present, that your character's going to be a proper fucking chosen one, little perfect bastard who can do nothing wrong and everything's about them. And the answer to that is mostly no. Your character is still very competent, but that is used to effect in a way that I would say is very fitting. What I like about the story of Wilds is that the story's not about you even slightly. Yes, you are so not important to the story in a dialogue / narrative / decision-making sense. You are hired muscle, essentially, for the actual protagonists, who I would argue is Alma, Nata, and Gemma. They are the actual protagonists going out, making discoveries, talking about stuff, coming to conclusions. You chip in here and there, your character is voiced, you make little fucking inputs here and there, but for the most part, your job is to ride alongside them / slightly ahead of them when they're exploring shit, and then when the really cool cinematic cutscene happens and a monster comes in, you literally go, alright lads, to the back, I'll fucking deal with this. Basically, it's a Limbus Company situation, except instead of playing as Dante, where you're the one who goes to the back, you're instead playing as the hunter, where you tell everyone else to go to the back and you'll handle it. You're the one this is literally your job. Sometimes Olivia's there to help you, and she's fucking sick. I love Olivia. But for the most part, it's you. You're like, all right, stand back, lads, let me handle this. This will be nice and easy. I like that dynamic, I suppose. It reminds me of The Elder Scrolls Oblivion, where the story is about Martin and you're basically his fucking muscle, right? Where it's like, I need something, or this place is under attack, and you're like, yeah, I got it, no worries. I prefer how Wilds does it, because in Oblivion you could become crazy powerful to the point where it's like, yeah, but the story kind of is about you though. Whereas in Wilds, legitimately, you're not, I don't know, you are ridiculously strong, but it feels more earned, I suppose. You have to earn that. Whereas in Oblivion or in more traditional RPGs, it feels like your growth in power is guaranteed. Whereas in Monster Hunter, you really do have to work for it. Sometimes with way too much fucking grinding. Don't worry, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend it's the perfect game with no problems. But I appreciate how that all ties together. Your character has a reputation, but this story isn't about you. It just explains why you're there, why they picked you to be the muscle as opposed to any other hunter that they could have found, of which there are many. They picked you because you volunteered for the expedition and people were like, fuck, I didn't think they were going to volunteer. All right, yeah, we'll bring them along. That's a good pick. That's a good draw, right? Wasn't expecting to get the player character on my fucking 10 pull. That's nice. Appreciate that. But I like how this all comes together, right? Nata is quite annoying. He wails and shouts with his little kid voice a lot, and it can be kind of annoying, but he's a protagonist, and the events in game, there's a lot of reason for him to be this way. And I'm like, fair enough, lad. And you're not that annoying anyway, so it's not a big deal. I can deal with it. Alma and Gemma are great. They're absolute treats. I love the pair of them. Both of them are fantastic. And I mentioned earlier that Olivia is great too. But my favorite moments, I think, in Monster Hunter Wilds' main narrative content, going from low rank to high rank, and now I will be dropping specific spoilers, so if you haven't gotten to the end of that, you might want to, back off, as it were. I'll still try and keep it vague, but if you want to go in completely blind, now's your time to get off. But the second to last fight, I love the cutscene in that, where you're stepping forward and the monster is just like voraciously eating corpses and throws one behind it, and your Palico like scampers out of the way and your character walks forward, doesn't even flinch. Excellent scene. Excellent. Looks very good. The kids would call it aura farming, and I suppose it is. The way your hunter doesn't even break stride as a partially rotting monster corpse flies past the head. Don't give a fuck. Whatever. Very good scene. That really put me in the mood for a proper fight, and then it was a proper fight for someone of my skill level. The final fight is the next cool part for me, where we're all fucking agonizing over what to do, and it's like, oh, if we do this, it'll be bad, and if we do that, it'll be less bad, but it'll still be bad. I guess we got to do the second thing, but it's gonna suck, and it's a whole thing. And Nata's like, okay, yeah, I guess we'll go do that. And then you get there, and Nata steps forward and is like, time to do the thing. And your hunter just wanders over and goes, yeah, you don't have to do that. And Nata's like, what do you mean? And he's like, I can take him. Step back, lads. I'm gonna go sort him out. And like literally Alma just wanders up and goes, this is what hunters do. Just fucking watch him work. Watch him go to town. And then you have another really cool fight that feels earned and you're emotionally set up for to be cool and fun and interesting. Someone else did say, I remember on the server, someone was like, it's a cool conclusion to the low rank storyline, I suppose, but it's a bit weird that we fought it at the end of the low rank storyline. It kind of seemed like it was going to be set up to be during high rank, like that we would come back when we were quote unquote ready. And I agree. I have to admit, when I was leading up to that fight, I did think they were going to push it back into high rank, because I was like, this seems a bit soon to be fighting something of this caliber. But no, you fight at the end of low rank and then you win and then everything's good, and then it goes into high rank, which pleasingly seems to have voiced and semi-narrative content in it, like basically a story progression, as it were, which is appreciated. It's pretty par for the course in terms of Monster Hunter, but still it's nice to be like, okay, well, there's a little bit of context around my hunts. I can still talk to my guild mates and they still have things for me to do and things to say, and that's nice. Appreciate all of that. I've literally only just got into high rank, like I said, so I'm only just starting to get into all of that good stuff. But I've been enjoying the game a lot. It's just a shame that the game file size is so fucking large that eventually I'm going to have to delete the fucking thing just so I can fit, footage onto my computer or something. I'm playing a lot of Stellaris, and I might uninstall that first before I uninstall Wilds, because Stellaris is a lot smaller, so it's easier to reinstall if I want it. But I do feel like I'm running on a bit of a ticking clock with Wilds, where I'm like, eventually I'm going to have to uninstall this, and it might be a while before I reinstall it, because it's, really fucking big. The dream will be to get a new computer and make sure it has 2 terabytes on it or something, because I think 2 terabytes would cover most of my needs, considering I've survived this long on 1 terabyte. Would really want to get 2. There's a distinct 50-50 possibility that the footage you're seeing on screen, if you are looking at the footage alongside my commentary, or at least my talking, it's not really commentary in a Foreman Talks, but what have you. Whatever. Point is, it might be Monster Hunter Wilds on screen right now, and it very easily might not be. And that would be because, like I said, the fucking graphics card issues and the driver issues with playing the game that have been causing me to crash means I am very unconfident in the idea of actually recording Monster Hunter Wilds, because I don't know if it would fucking work. I'm gonna try for the purposes of this Foreman Talks, because it's also a good little test, right? So I can see whether or not it's actually feasible for me to record this game. Now, I don't really have any plans or ideas to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do a series on Wilds. I don't even necessarily think I'd do anything as such, but it's nice to know what I can and cannot work with. Always good to run little tests to see what happens. Plus, I think it makes for good Foreman Talks footage, purely because Monster Hunter fights are fairly cinematic, with a lot of big monster flailing around and little hunter pissing and crying and flailing around. You know, it's fun stuff to watch, or at least I assume it would be anyway. I'm not going to draw this one out for too long. I'm going to keep this one nice and brief. I just wanted to talk about it because I've been having a lot of fun with Monster Hunter Wilds, and I hung out with Foreman yesterday, and I did spend a fair amount of that time talking about Monster Hunter Wilds because I was having a lot of fun with it, and I thought, well, if I have this much to say to him about it, then maybe I should talk to you guys about it as well. Might be a fun little discussion. But for those of you who have been playing Monster Hunter Wilds, how have you been getting along with it? How have you been getting along with it? Has it been alright for you? Has it been... Do you think it's better than World? Are you disappointed in it in comparison to World? Or Rise, I suppose? I keep forgetting that Rise came out between then and now. For those of you who haven't played Wilds, are you planning to? Like, is there something stopping you from doing so? Because I believe the optimization issues have been fixed. So by this point, it would either be personal distaste or just a lack of interest, I suppose, that would likely govern why you would not play it. I don't care if you do or don't, I'm just curious, because I put it off for a long time and I'm not even entirely sure why. File size was probably one of the big ones, because even Monster Hunter World was a massive fucking file size on my computer, and I knew the Wilds was going to be bigger, and it was. And it definitely was, yes. Very much a pain in the ass in that respect, but I've been having a lot of fun with it. For those of you who have been playing it, favorite weapon style, favorite weapon and armor sets, and favorite monster to hunt. Go. I want to see. Mine so far, it's a tricky one actually. Bearing in mind I haven't played much. I really liked fighting a Dogran with Sword and Shield very specifically, because it's actually quite similar to fighting wolves in Nitrogen Omega, where you don't chase them. You stand your ground, you plant your fucking feet, and you wait for them to come to you, and then you punish them. And that's a very fun playstyle, right? Like, not one step backwards. Just plant your feet, it comes in, perfect guard, smash it. It backs off, you watch it, it comes back in, bam, hit it again. And then when you knock it off balance from one of those retaliatory hits and it like staggers, you fucking go forward and you start beating the fuck out of it. It's very fun. I like it a lot. But yeah, I pose that to you. Weapon style, weapon and armor set, and favorite monster to hunt. But that's all from me for today, friends. Thank you so much for watching and listening. And special thanks to my members and patrons for supporting the channel. It is greatly appreciated and it helps keep these things going. And it will hopefully fund that new computer I'd sure like to get someday so that, you know, I can play better games and have more fucking footage to store and space for it and games to have on here at the same time. I appreciate that's not your problem, but I appreciate that you are unintentionally chipping in for it. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'd like to do more Foreman talks, but I don't want to force these because otherwise I feel like it is a massive waste of you guys' time if I have nothing interesting to talk about, or at the very least have nothing interesting to say, you know? So I won't force them, but if inspiration strikes, I will do them. And once again, if you have shit you want to hear me talk about, feel free to post it in the comments or tell me on Discord, whatever you want to fucking do. That's all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and whatever happens next time, hope I see you there. Doodles. Goodbye.